Hello guys, I'm Varun and this is Sejal. We hope you all are doing well. Today's video is gonna be about the application of Indian Evidence Act in one of the most famous episodes of anime, Detective Conan, named Mountain Villa Bandaged Man Murder Case. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video.
The plot of the episode revolves around a murder mystery that occurs in a secluded villa away from the city with a group of people who have come for a peaceful getaway. The young boy, Detective Conan, further goes on marking and analyzing every shred of evidence, linking the dots and catching the culprit. The episodes feature 7 characters. Let me give you a brief introduction of all the characters involved in the scenario. Herein, we have two sisters, Angie and Serena. Angie being the older one and Serena being her younger sister. Angie is also part of the crew of film being produced. She is the makeup artist there, while Serena is the best friend of Rachel. Rachel is the partner of Detective Conan. Mitchell, Randall, Felix, Jesse, and Emily went to film school together, wherein wherein Emily committed suicide by hanging herself to the roof, and she was supposed to be a prospect screenwriter. Felix here is the antagonist, and he's also the prop master or the handyman of the film. Detective Conan or Conan Edogawa is the alias used by Jimmy Kudo in his shrunken form. Jimmy took the appearance of his 6 or 7-year-old self after being exposed to a prototype poison called APTX 4869, which he had been forced to be swallowed by two men in black who were later on revealed to be members of the Black Organization.
So now the story starts when Serena invites Conan and Rachel to her family's mountain villa to meet up with her sister Angie and some old friends. They spot a strange bandaged figure in a dark cloak crossing the bridge on their approach to the front. While searching for her room, Rachel accidentally walks in the room of some boys who are either relaxing or changing the clothes.
Afterwards, they gather into the dining room and Serena introduces her friends Angie, Mitchell, Randall, Felix, and Jesse to Rachel and Conan. However, Angie mentions another old friend named Emily, which enrages Jesse, who goes on for a walk eventually. After a while, it starts to rain, and Jesse has not yet returned to the villa. Mitchell flirts with Rachel and takes her on a walk with Conan and Serena trailing behind them. Rachel gets attacked by the bandaged man with an axe. Meanwhile, the bandaged man flees as soon as Conan and Serena arrives.
The three returns to the mansion and inform the others about the Rachel's attack. It turned out that not only were their phones down, but the bridge was also severed. As a result, they all stranded at the villa. Everybody get panicked at the moment, but Jessie stood still, courageous. She refuses to eat dinner with the group after discovering a suspicious letter beneath her room door.
Before dinner, Angie recounts that the group disbanded from the suicide of their friend Emily. After finishes mending the rooftop, he prepares to join them for a delicious meal cooked by Angie and Rachel. But he grew afraid and claims to have seen someone outside the window. Through the window, they all see the bandaged man kidnapping and carrying Jesse into the woods. They all follow him into the woods and found chopped body parts of Jesse, but they couldn't find bandaged man.
After returning to villa, everybody was shaken. So they decide to go to bed for the night after examining every window and door for the safety. Surprisingly, Conan, Serena, and Rachel discovers Jesse's slippers at the back door. Rachel and Conan were sharing a room, and at midnight, when the bandaged man strikes once more, this time attempting to murder Rachel while she was sleeping, Conan throws Rachel out of the way and grabs the bandaged man around his waist. However, bandaged man threw Conan and ran away from the scene. This made Conan wonder why bandaged man is pursuing Rachel and why there are no mud or water stains on the floor if he came in from the outside.
Everyone agrees to stay all up in the night in order to eliminate the terrible man in bandages. Conan notices that Angie is having a choker that belonged to Jessie before she died. She claims to have it discovered recently, but Conan recalls her wearing it when she was kidnapped. This indicates that the bandaged man indeed is a member from the group and Jessie was taken from the front door, although her slippers were found at the back door, which suggests otherwise.
Afterwards, Conan starts questioning about how quickly Jesse was removed from the house, and none of the three guys could have carried such normal weight women that quickly that Bandaged Man did. Also, when Jesse was taken, the three men were inside the room, and this further raised the question of tight alibi of all.
Conan's suspicions about a secret meeting between Jessie and her ultimate murderer are confirmed when Angie, the last person to have seen Jessie alive, tells him that she spotted her holding a letter and after looking at which she looked worried. However, he is perplexed as to why Rachel is now a target and inquires if she recalls seeing anything unusual when she entered the men's room.
Soon after the thunderstroke, due to which the lights went out, Angie, Rachel, and Connell went in search for candles. However, Rachel was attacked once more, but this time she reacted and kicked the man's axe, breaking it into two. Bandaged Man ran away quickly. Meanwhile, lights came back and they all heard breaking noise of one of the windows. Conan believed that the window was locked from the inside to deceive everyone into thinking that the bandaged man used it to sneak into the house when in fact he is one of the member of the group. He also notices some strange wire marks on the railing.
After everything, Conan starts decoding the case. He argues that nobody could have come from outside since there was no mud left when the bandage man attacked at Rachel despite heavy rains outside. This was also clear from the fact that the bandage man could have come from outside by breaking the window, but when Conan reached there, he found that the window was in fact locked from inside, and yet the bandage man smashed it, making everybody believe that he came from outside. After this, Conan was certain that Bandage Man must have unlocked the window from inside, went out, and then smashed the window in order for others to think that he, on the contrary, came from outside.
After analyzing the whole case, Conan was able to deduce that the bandaged man is no one but from the group itself. He clears the whole case and reveals that Jesse's murderer is none but Felix. He explains that first, the murderer is someone from the villa. Second, that the murderer used an illusion with dummy and some piano wires while Jesse was being carried by the bandaged man. Conan said that Jessie was already dead and that the dummy was only carrying her head. According to him, the murderer guided and rushed the dummy by piano wires which were attached to the railing. The murderer rushed the dummy and immediately pull it out of sight. The only person who was standing near the railing was Felix.
Thirdly, the head of Jesse was not taken to the woods but through the back door where Angie found Jesse's choker. Fourthly, he explained that Felix was not in fact overweight. He pretended to be overweight so that no one could figure out that he was the bandaged man. Conan further explained that Felix attacked Rachel because she saw him while he was changing clothes and that she must have figured out that he is not overweight either. He must have thought that Rachel is a loose end in his case and that she would eventually become a threat to him, and thus he must have decided to kill Rachel as well.
So here the facts of the present case ends, and now we will be move on to the application of Indian Evidence Act to the present case. For this, the fact in issue in the present case is whether Felix killed Jesse. To answer this question, we will apply section 3, 5, 6, 7 and so on of part 1 of Indian Evidence Act 1872. Section 5 provides that evidence may be given for existence of any fact in issue or relevant fact. On the contrary, section 6 states that all those facts which are not in issue can be relevant if those facts form a part of the same transaction. In the present case, facts relating to procuring the piano strings, making axe marks on bridge pillars while trying to cut the bridge, setting up the dummy and pretending to be overweight, together with Felix being the professional set designer, and so on, are all part of the same transaction, that is the murder of Jesse, and therefore constitutes as a relevant fact under section 6. Moving on to section 7, Section 7 allows the inclusion of different groups of fact relating to the transaction under examination specific form, such as cause and effect, or providing any opportunity for the occurrence of offense. Section 7 basically talks about the cause and effect relationship with that of fact and issue. Thus, the fact that Jessie immediately left her room as soon as she read the letter, and that there were markings of piano strings on the railing, constitute as a part of occasion and effect of killing respectively, because the letter was something which resulted Jessie to move out of the house, and thus the bandaged man was able to capture her.
Section 8 and Section 9 provide for the relevancy of facts if they show a motive or preparation or conduct, and if they explain or support a relevant fact which establishes the identity of a person respectively. Section 8 for the relevancy of facts if they show a motive or preparation of conduct. The fact that Felix wanted to take revenge on Jessie because his friend Emily killed herself since Jessie stole her novel script and became a big star screenwriter can be admitted under Section 8 for showing the motive of the murderer. Furthermore, as per Section 8, procuring the piano strings, dummy, bandages, clock, and axe for killing Jessie constitutes as a part of preparation for the murder. Section 9 provides for the relevancy of facts if they explain or support a relevant fact which establishes the identity of a person. Rachel, by mistake, saw Felix while he was changing his clothes. The fact that Rachel knew Felix is not overweight could rebut Felix's argument that he cannot be the murderer since the murderer was a normal weight person. Therefore, such fact will be relevant under Section 9 because it rebuts an inference and establishes the identity of murderer as well.
Now, Section 11 talks about the plea of alibi, whereby a person may take the benefit of being elsewhere during the commission of the offense. It is possible that Felix may take the defense of plea of alibi as he did in the episode 2, that he was with the rest of 8 persons when the murder was taking place, and that the bandaged man when carrying the body of Jessie. However, this plea of alibi can be struck down by the fact that he installed the dummy with the piano strings to pose an illusion to the situation. On the contrary, Section 14 talks about facts showing the presence of any state of mind. Now, presence of any state of mind could be anything from intention to ill will. The fact that Felix was not overweight but was posing to be overweight, this shows that Felix had a state of mind constituting the intention and ill will to deceive the other in order to kill Jessie. Therefore, this fact can also be admitted in the court as per Section 14.
Additionally, Section 17 and 18 talks about the statement which could be taken as admissions. Hence, the statement of Angie when she saw Jessie to be frightened after she read the letter which she found below her door, and or that she found her home slippers and choker at the back door and front door respectively, can be treated as admission. The statement of Rachel that she knew Felix was not overweight can also be taken as admissions. As per Section 26, the confessions are admissible only if they are made in presence of magistrate. Though in the present case, Felix had confessed that he himself killed Jessie, yet his confession will not be admissible since the same was not made before a magistrate but before all the people present in the villa at that point of time.
So with this, we end our application and discussion with Indian Evidence Act in application to the one of the most famous episodes of Detective Anime, Detective Conan Anime. We hope that you like this video. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.